Sayonara Wild Hearts was my favourite game of 2019, and honestly, depending on what day you ask me, it's maybe my favourite game of all time. It's a fast-paced, colourful, hyper-pop inspired interactive album, and it's quite a short game that I can replay over and over and over. And honestly, what I love about it isn't even the gameplay. I think the gameplay's fine, but it's the music, it's the way it looks, and it's the way it sounds. So when the developer Simogo announced that their next game would be this slow puzzle game that's black and white, and the music is only used mostly for background noise, I was not disappointed, but let's just say anxious. And I even found this whole Discord message of me saying this exact thing. But I could not have been more wrong. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is, without a doubt, one of the best games I've ever played, and I don't know, I feel like Portal 2 is such a hard game to beat because it's such a full package. But in terms of the actual puzzles and the way the game teaches you the puzzles and the difficulty of them, I think that's just amazing. I don't want to spoil any of the game, so all the footage you're seeing is from a new game save, and it goes up to just the first 15 minutes. So first I'll explain what the game is. It's essentially a big puzzle box, similar to Resident Evil I guess, but without the zombies. You have to explore this hotel, and obviously when you first go in, most of the doors are locked, so you're going to have to explore, and you'll find padlocks that have codes on them. And basically the first section of the game is you just walk up to everything and look at it. Because when you go up to a padlock, you can't do anything, you don't know the code. But as you explore the area you actually can walk about in, you're going to find books and documents and papers that might give you a clue to how to get through that door. And obviously I'm not going to show the later puzzles, but they're all so unique. It's not just padlocks, there's so many other things here. And there's puzzles you don't even realise are puzzles until you do, if that makes sense. Like you see stuff early on and you think, oh, this is just like an art exhibition, and you move on. And then 10 hours later, you find something that kind of looks like that, and it clicks. And that's why I've never done this before. I've tried it a few times with immortality and telling lies, but when I played this, I had a pen and a notepad next to me, and basically anything I was seeing, I was copying down. So if I saw a year that seemed important, I would write it down, and then again 5 hours later, I would see some kind of reference to that year, and I would just flick through the notepad to find it. Yeah, I just think the way that the game is just, I don't know, I genuinely have not played a game that is so well tuned. The puzzles are hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but I never got stuck, which is amazing. There's a lot of times where I would find a puzzle and I couldn't do it, and I would move on and I would find another puzzle that I couldn't do, and then I would find another puzzle. So I would have 10 puzzles that I was I have no clue what I'm doing, and then I would just magically find the answer to one of them, which would then lead me to find the other one, which would then lead me to find out, and it just all links together. There's so many games I've played that have hard puzzles that I just had to give up on. I was thinking about Baba Is You. The way that works is you basically have 5 puzzles at once, so you unlock level 1 to 5. As you finish a level, you unlock the next one. But say if you get stuck on level 4, you can just skip it. But then if you end up getting stuck on level 20 and you skip that, then you skip 3 more levels. You have to complete one of those 5 levels, or you can't keep playing the game. And that happened to me, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I just stopped playing then. There's something magic going on here. Also, obviously I was expecting another Sayonara Wild Hearts in terms of aesthetic, but I mean I like this too. Obviously there are much different games like that. This is borderline a horror game. There aren't any, it's not, but it obviously feels like it. So this would not work with that music blading. But I do think it works, and there's some stuff later on where they play with the art style a little bit, and they do some quite cool stuff. And when the music is used, there's one moment in the actual game, and that is such a powerful moment, I think, and is one of my favourite moments of the year so far in games. I won't spoil anything, but there is a story here. As you explore the hotel, you'll find stuff. A lot of it is in notebooks. There's this big book about one of the characters, and it tells you a lot of stuff about him. The story is told in a vague way. You just kind of get lines and you latch onto stuff. The game's only been out for about 2 weeks now, and I've not read any analysis stuff. I kind of grasp it as it's confusing on purpose, they want you to put the work in. The ending still hits. Even if I didn't fully understand everything, just that one scene and then the credits play, it's instantly I just knew that this is special. If you want to see what the puzzles are like, there's this shortcut book. Basically, as you explore the hotel, you're going to open up doors that lead you into other locations, and the game has a shortcut system to link everything back together. So there's these shortcut doors that are all numbered, and then you have a book that has puzzles that match those numbers. So here at door number 16, you can go to puzzle number 16, and all of these puzzles are self-contained. So if you wanted to do them yourself, you can just pause the video, and these are all self-contained puzzles that you can just do. And then, yeah, like I said before, most of the other puzzles are kind of just knowing the environment and then linking it with things you see later on. Again, no spoilers, but as soon as you walk into the hotel, you'll find this zodiac clock, and you can obviously do stuff with it, but you don't like know what to do with it. So then later on, obviously you'll find stuff about the zodiac symbols, and maybe then you can link it together with that, or you might need other things as well. One thing that I think is both a positive and a negative is you can play the game one-handed. So every button does the same thing, and then each stick does the same thing. So you walk with either stick, and then you interact with objects by pushing the button. But the menus also work like that. So there's times where you want to like check information. So you open up your memory and go to a document and you click into it. If you click circle to out, it'll just select it again, and then you select it again, and there's no way to just easily escape. And there's also, this is a slight, like, I mean, it's an early puzzle. There's only one button, so everything is interactable with the exact same button. So there's these posters you find that have some kind of symbol on them, and I would walk up to them, and it's so obvious that you have to rearrange the symbol. Okay, I get that. So I'd push X to select one, but then what it would do, it would like confirm what I've made and show me it, and then when I push X again, it would kick me out, and then push X, you go back in. And honestly, I found there's 5 of these posters total, and I'd found all of them and just looked at them before I realised that if you flick the stick to the right, then the piece will like be separated, and you can then actually move it up and down. And it's like this is the only time in the game you don't use the button, and it's just I don't know. So the reason for letting the game be played with one hand is because you can have a notepad and a pen in the other hand, and then just play the game, which is cool, and I did that a lot of times. But there are so many times where I accidentally messed up. So I played the game for 17 hours, and anytime I saved, I thought how easy it would be to accidentally delete your save. So you go up to a computer, and you click save, then you click your profile, and you click yes. And then you like mash circle to get it out. But if you mash circle, you go back in and you save again. It is possible that you would accidentally click delete, then press circle to get back out, which would then go back in, and then panic again, hit circle again, and delete. And when I was trying to show this for the video, I did actually accidentally delete over my like completed game save, and I don't think there's any way of getting it back. So like obviously I don't care because I've finished the game, but like this did happen. So it never happened when I was actually playing the game, only when I was recording the video. But you know, like, be careful. Because this is a platinum channel, I feel like we should talk about the trophies. I played on PC, and by finishing the game, I got 5 out of 20 achievements. There's actually not one for finishing the game, which is quite interesting. I'm not going to detail stuff, because the game is so, like, kind of secretive, and you just kind of discover things, but the majority of them are just, like, so the computers are save points, so find every computer has one. There's a certain amount of coffee machines, and you need to find every coffee machine. There's also collectibles in the form of dollars, so as you're walking about the game, you just find these. At the start of the game, it does kind of imply that there's less dollars than the cost of things that you can spend, if that makes sense. So basically, if you want to buy everything in the game, you're going to have to play the game twice, but this is actually false, so you can platinum the game in one go if you want to. However, there is also a speedrun trophy, so I think you have to beat the game in 4.5 hours. I'm not sure how hard this would be. Something that's important is that every puzzle solution is randomized, so you can't just follow a guide. Obviously the puzzles link in the same way, but basically the numbers will be different and stuff like that. I'll find an example to actually show on screen, but basically the puzzles are all solved the same way, but you're not going to get the exact same answer as someone else. And I think what's going to end up being one of the hardest trophies in the game are these Game Boy games. These are just like mini games, and they're not related or needed to finish the game. You have to get a high score in each of these, and I think you're actually going to have to get good at these, I'm guessing. I only played one of them once, because you do have to buy them with dollars, so I don't have enough to actually get them all. So yeah, if this comes out in PlayStation, which I hope it does, you can expect a full platinum video, hopefully, if the Game Boy games aren't too hard. And the reason, obviously this is new for the channel, but the reason I wanted to make a review is because, I don't know why, but this has just not popped off in the way that I thought it would. Obviously I've been looking forward to it like since it was announced, and it felt big when it came out, if that makes sense, but then no one's talking about it. Like MinMax haven't reviewed it, and Kinda Funny haven't reviewed it, and they're like my 2 main places to go, and it's just like, oh, I don't know. So yeah, even if I convince even just one person to even check it out, maybe put it on their wish list or something. But right now it's only on Switch and PC. I'm assuming it's like, my PC is not great and then fine, so I'm sure it would be fine on the Switch as well. And it's definitely like, I can't say enough how special this game is.